ClearPath is focused on driving down the cost of clean energy. Our thesis is if you want to rapidly and significantly reduce global greenhouse gas emissions, U.S. foreign policy should be focused on driving down the cost of clean energy so we can make it a more attractive commercial option that people will choose. We think that it's important that the globe has all the tools in the toolbox. Climate's a serious problem, and we have to reduce emissions quickly to have any chance of meeting mid-century emissions reduction goals. And so we need all zero-emission technologies. So we spend a lot of our time on advanced nuclear technologies, carbon capture on coal and gas, renewables, energy storage, hydropower, geothermal. We think that the issue shouldn't be about technology. It should be about, the objective should be reducing emissions. And so, any way that we can use limited government, free market policies to accelerate their deployment. One of the good things about the Clean Capitalist Coalition is we're trying to think outside of the box and find bipartisan, pragmatic solutions to address climate and accelerate clean energy. Far too often, the DC debate has been focused on stale policies. A lot of people default on the carbon tax, on cap and trade, heavy-handed regulatory policies. Those haven't gotten us anywhere in the last 15 years, and so we've got to find new paths forward. There's a real political momentum in DC and across the country. I think we've seen that over the last year as climate has kind of come into the forefront, into our national debate, and we've got to find this common ground because the climate crisis is way too serious to be taking pot shots at each other from a political standpoint. And so I think some of the real thought leadership is happening at the Clean Capitalist Coalition, and that's where we're going to bring in new pragmatic ideas that make a big impact on global decarbonization. I think one of the clear things as we observe the global energy market is we don't have the technologies we need at the moment to truly tackle the climate problem. And so one of the things that we really focus on is how do we invest wisely in new technologies, and how do we have policies that help bring them to the market. In the current energy market, particularly in the United States, there's a disincentive to doing new types of things. The way our markets are structured, it's always about the cheapest, and that's important. We need to keep consumer prices low, but we need some limited government policies that help bring those new technologies out of the national labs, out of the people's garages, and into commercial deployment. But they need to be limited. These technologies need a chance to sink or swim, get some initial opportunities to prove themselves commercialized, and if they can't make it, then those incentives should go away. And that's something that I think that we've been particularly frustrated with over the last decade. We don't need to be subsidizing technologies that they can't stand on their own, and so I think that's why you need to take a look at a limited government approach to bringing new technologies to the market, and that's what's going to be the best steward of taxpayer dollars, as well as having a huge impact on accelerating clean energy deployment.